Kristin.
Yeah.
I was perusing the interwebs today.
Oh, no. I don't like the sound of it already.
And I saw an article with the top, I'm going to say 10, but I'm only doing 5. Top 5 wacky headlines, real estate headlines for 2025.
Nice. What are they?
You interested in hearing these?
I'd love to hear them. Yeah.
Okay. This is the first one is historic haunted hotel list for $2 million in Chester, Arkansas. The Beard and Lady Inn, formerly the Chester Inn, built in 1887, served as a dry goods store, a brothel, a post office, and a hotel over the years.
Wow.
It's claimed to be haunted, adding to its eerie appeal as a potential quirky investment or Airbnb.
Interesting. I like the sound of it. Are there
It's
any
got
photos?
A cool history. No, these are just headlines.
Oh, just headlines. Yeah.
So if you want photos, you'd have to probably Google the article.
Yeah, very cool.
Let's see. The next one says the wackiest homes of 2025, from raccoon-infested teardown to underground missile silo.
Oh, wow. I feel like the raccoon-infested building is probably something you have more experience with.
Yeah. It's usually rats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It says Realtor.com highlighted 2025's craziest listings, like a Maryland home overrun by feral raccoons.
Oh, my God.
Requiring major cleanup, and the converted Cold War-era missile silo turned into a livable underground bunker.
Wait, is that I think is the one Lorena sent us in the...
It probably is. It's
in
probably the same one.
Group chat, yeah, our team group chat.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when we lived in Mount Airy on Lincoln Drive, we had a raccoon that was like, I guess there was like some kind of access point under the roof, and it was in the attic, and it kept going in and out, and it had only one arm. And Billy finally caught it. He put like a trap on the roof, and when it went out, it got inside the trap, and he took it down to the Schuylkill Center, and he has been visiting it ever since.
Oh my God!
But it made a mess.
That's so funny.
It made such a mess. We had to take the ceiling down upstairs on the 3rd floor, and like there was a lot of raccoon.
Dude, that's a nightmare. My neighbor across the street from me this past summer had raccoons in his attic like that, and he had to call out like this pest control company, and it was so bad because how they got the raccoon out is a couple of the babies must have came out, and they put the babies in like a crate outside the house and tried to use the babies to lure the mom out. And they cried all day. And it's right across the street from my office, and me and Sheena are in here working. And the windows were open, and we were just looking at each other like, this is brutal. It was so sad. They wind up getting them out and reuniting them and everything, and going and, and taking them, whatever, and letting them out in the park.
Yeah.
But it was a long day, bro.
Oh, man.
It was a long day.
Well, I'm glad nobody was hurt. But yeah, they make a mess. Oh, my God. It chewed through wires.
Dude, you cannot have raccoons in your attic. Not cool.
No, not cool.
All right, listen to this one. You ready?
Yeah.
Invisible house hits the market for $18 million.
I got one of those. If you buy that one, I've got another one for you.
This is in Joshua Tree, California. This mirrored solar panel desert home creates an optical illusion of invisibility, blending into the landscape. Originally built in 2019 and popular for celebrity rentals, it became a full sale listing in recent years, embodying ultra-modern, mirror-like wilderness.
That's so cool. I mean, in an environment like that, if the whole house is a mirror, mirrors. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
18 million. I wonder how big it is for 18 million. That's
Did it
wild.
Actually sell, or was it just on the market?
Like I said, these are just the headlines, so I don't have the full articles here. I just thought they were funny. Here goes another one. Ready for this one?
Yeah.
$200 million vacant lot to live next door to Jeff Bezos.
No thanks.
Indiana Creek, Florida. A tiny 1.87 acre empty parcel on an ultra-exclusive Indian Creek island listed for $200 million, purely for the prestige of neighboring Jeff Bezos, who bought nearby for $237 million. Isn't that wild?
That is. Yeah, no thanks.
Okay, here's the last one. Last one. Breaking Bad home lists at $4 million. You probably saw this one. Albuquerque, New Mexico. The iconic house used as Walter White's residence in the TV series went on the market around 2025 for nearly $4 million bones. Marketed as a collector's item or Airbnb. And that's funny because I think the Airbnb is what's really driving these values up. Like the house that sold in the family's house that sold in The Christmas Story. Mm-hmm. That was like the first time I heard of like something like that happening, like a house from a movie being bought and then being rented out on Airbnb. Now it seems to like be a thing. That's
a thing now. I think the Home Alone house was on the market not that long ago, and I think someone was going to do that.
Yeah, that was a big
the novelty Airbnb stay. Yeah.
So speaking of all these Zillow things, dude, we never talked about you being on that show. Zillow, was it Zillow Gone Wild?
Oh God, we don't have
to
talk
about it. You never told me about it. You just post on like social media. I see you on, like the TV trailer for on one of the episodes.
Well, first of all,
we never talked about it.
I was tagged on it, so it ended up on my thing. Yeah. So that was.
Is that the name of the show?
The show is called Zillow Gone Wild. So it's two separate things. There's a Zillow Gone Wild, like newsletter and Instagram page with this guy Samir who runs that. He's really great. I've talked to him multiple times about some of my crazy listings that I get. He's fantastic. But then there's also the show on HGTV that is called Zillow Gone Wild that's hosted by Jack McBrayer. Do I have that right? I hope I have that right. He was the guy who he was so funny, who played the page in 30 Rock.
30 Rock.
Yeah. If you've ever seen
Oh
my gosh. And he's just the same in person. Like,
is he
that
really?
character.
Kenneth. That was his name in the show. Kenneth.
Yeah. Boy, he was like, I did not know what to expect because I felt like that was such a character for the show, but in person, in real life, he's very similar. He was just lovely and so nice and like, he was just so charming and wonderful. But anyway, he made it a lot of fun.
How does it start from the beginning? Like, did they reach out to you? Like, what was going on?
I had this listing. In fact, I'm crossing my fingers and knocking on wood because it's supposed to close next week, finally. But I had this listing in Fairmount, and it was, I'm not going to give the address. I'll do it maybe after it closes. Just so I don't jinx
You're so worried
myself.
about jinxing. Maybe you're so worried about jinxing.
This was a hard sale. This was a really hard sale. It had been on the market with another agent for like a year. And then I took it over and we had like we actually got a couple offers, but none were kind of right. So it's a really interesting property in the middle of Fairmount, which is a neighborhood here in Philly around the Art Museum area. And it's a very residential neighborhood of row homes. So it's just, row home after row home, beautiful tree-lined streets. This particular house sits behind like a 10-foot wall. Like you would never know it was there. You probably walk by it if you're familiar with Fairmount 1,000,000 times. Never even knew that there was a house behind this wall. And there's this arched doorway and a garage, and you go inside, and it's like this little compound. It's the combination of 3 properties. So it was an old blacksmith studio from the late 1800s, a blacksmith shop, a barn, and a Victorian home. And the barn and the home were kind of merged together to be the house, to make it into a house. And the blacksmith shop has been turned into a 2-car garage. So it's just in the middle of this neighborhood, this like sweet residential neighborhood, and you would never know this big thing existed. So we got a lot of press on it. I mean, whenever I get a listing like that, I try to reach out to a couple, to the press just to see where, we can get it marketed.
Alert the media.
But also it's the kind of house that maybe it wouldn't be a Philly buyer buying it, So I wanted people from other places to see that we have this kind of housing stock that's really interesting in Philly. So I don't know how HGTV found out about it, but they reached out to me and they said, will you be on this show? And at first I thought it was a joke. And we've had Deirdre on from our team who was on House Hunters, and we know a lot of people who've been on those shows, and they're fake and they're kind of like, so I was sort of like half paying attention, half not. I reached out to the seller. I'm like, hey, do you want to do this with me? And he was kind of like, I don't know, is it a real thing? And, just kind of like very nonchalant. We had to fill out like some paperwork on it and give them a lot of information. And then we had to have like a Zoom call, like a preliminary call with like the producers. And then I started realizing, oh, this is a real thing here. This is like a real show. And they're bringing in people from LA to film it. That's where the crew was, from LA. So we blocked off a whole day. It was actually March or April of last year. So it's coming up on a year when this, when we filmed it, but it released in September of 2025. So just last September. But it's so what they do on the show is they feature really unique properties, and it's one of those like, it's like a half-hour show, and they feature like 3 properties in different places. So I got, literally 5 minutes of airtime pretty much on this half-hour show. But it was cool. We spent the whole day filming. They had like a catered lunch. I mean, it was like, you felt like you were really, really filming something pretty exciting. My seller and I were both in it. So he was interviewed. I was interviewed. We kind of gave a little bit of a tour of the house together and talked about the history of it all. And it finally aired. It is, if anyone's looking, it's called Zillow Gone Wild, and it is season 2, episode 8 is where we're featured. And I think it's 3 houses on that episode. I think we might be the last one featured. So if you want to fast forward.
So you sent me the link to a pretty good clip that was on social. So I'll put that in the show notes, and then I'll put links to the episode. It's actually on HBO Max, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll put a link to HBO Max in the show notes. And if I can find it, if you don't have HBO Max, if I can find it on the YouTube,
it's got to be
the
on
YouTube page
somewhere.
for it, I'll put a link to that there too. Because the clip that I saw on social actually looked like it covered probably a lot of.
It did.
That was the
majority
episode,
of it.
right?
Yeah, that was the majority. of it.
Yeah. Well, that's really cool. You were so sneaky. Like you didn't even tell us you were doing it. You just went and did the whole day, and then we just see it on the interwebs.
Yeah, I didn't really want to. I don't like that kind of stuff. My whole thing with marketing always has been like, I love promoting the clients, and I love telling the story of the home, especially if it has like really cool history or a cool architect that was involved. I love all of that. I can talk about that forever. But when they turn the camera on me, not so much.
Right. I'm with you.
I'm not comfortable in front of a camera. I'm just not one of those people. I don't know.
I'm with you.
It's not about me. It's about the house. It's about the people who live in it and have a story.
Agreed.
And so that's the important part. But Bob, my seller, was able to be in it with me, so it was that made it.
That's
more fun.
really cool. So I'll put a link. I'll put a link to the actual listing too.
Yeah.
So you can see all the photos.
Yeah. I mean, it really is a special property. It was very, very cool. It was fun to do.
That's awesome. All right, Kristin, this has been a lot of fun, but we got to get back to work, so I will see you at happy hour.
All right, see you at happy hour.